Welcome to the Chosen Change podcast. I'm Josh. I'm here with my brother Rob. We decided to build this platform to be raw, be authentic, and show people the struggles, tell our stories, and also maybe help some people going through some things. Just need a word of encouragement. We'll be doing this weekly. Episodes will drop every Thursday.
We really want this podcast to impact people who are going through things, real life problems, whether they're dealing with successes, failures. We want to make sure that we tap in to someone going through adversity and how to come back out of it. That's our goal.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about why we chose to do this in more detail, our stories, where we've been, where we come from, our plans and where we got to go, how we get there. We're also got a little bit of a surprise for you that we'll be doing every week, show you a glimpse of the structure of this podcast. Episode 1, we have decided to do this. Probably this was a conversation Rob and I have been having for
about 6 months, right?
Yeah, about 6 months. Just kind of, we've been kind of going, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we've been going through some journeys, the good, the bad, the growing pains, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we also wanted to create a platform where we express that and also just kind of show people that they're not alone. You know what I mean?
Definitely. No, definitely. I'm excited. We have talked about it for a while. And during those conversations, we discussed how can we build a platform for people that not only are going through things, but they're at the lowest point of their life. Mm-hmm. How do they see the light? How do they come back? Are people going to give them a chance to come back? We hear a lot of podcasts, especially locally, about success stories, businesses, how to make money, how to become kind of Albuquerque famous. But I really want to have a podcast and a platform where we can talk about the raw things that we deal with in our families, in our church, in our life, in our businesses, how to overcome them and how to win people over in everything after you maybe have gone through the worst thing possible. And this is a good way for us to start that.
I can't say it any better than that. I think the only thing I'll keep on in that is also how to keep your integrity and how to stay true as a person.
And I think how to keep faith in all of it. How do you stay and remain faithful to the Lord, whether you're being blessed, overblessed, or maybe it's not your season? Yeah. How do you rely on your faith in all of those seasons? And I really want to dig into how we can do that.
I think that's something I'm really just learning over the last, it's already 10 months that I started going to church with
10
you.
10 months.
How crazy my life has really just unfolded, mentally, physically, spiritually, like truly blessed.
I remember the conversation that we had and what we were talking about. You were kind of lost in life, going through some transitional things as a job. Family seemed like it was going well, but I didn't really hear leadership during the conversation. And when I invited you to church, it was a shot in the wind. It was me planting a seed. I do that everywhere I go. I plant tons of seeds. I always want to encourage people to go to church and grow their faith. You actually took the seed and you started growing it.
Yeah.
After the first service, I remember the look on your kid's face when you could see they enjoyed it. Talking to you, I wasn't too sure if we review it now or after a couple Sundays of going to church, but I knew I wanted to see if you liked it.
Yeah.
Seeing where you guys are at now, 10 months in, thriving, your kids are in the ministry, they're in the middle school ministry, high school ministry. I heard your son wants to start serving. Mm-hmm. You guys are very consistent about going. I'm super proud of you guys, and it wasn't for me, it was for you. So I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. And I know, it takes a true friend to really be like, hey, there's something missing in your life, right? Like, and I think that's kind of relationship we've always had for going on 6 years now. It's like,
it's long.
We'll call each other out and be like, hey, like, you're missing something. There's this, there's that. Or maybe you could look at this different, you know what I mean? And we're very authentic with each other. And I think that's missing in a lot of places. But just that moment, I don't know, man, like it was something that was on my mind going to church, but I don't know. I just needed that push. And at that moment, I remember calling my wife and I was like, hey, we're going to go to church this weekend. And she was like, oh, I've been thinking about going back to church. Let's go to St. Joseph or St. Jude's. And I was like, nah, we're going to do something different. And, I definitely called an audible at that moment in time. But, my wife being who she is, she didn't bat an eye. She didn't question it. she knows, you know what I mean? Like I'll always have the interest of our, or the best interest of our family. We went, I was real skeptical about it, you know, especially music, the lights we talked about a little bit before. It was a little bit intimidating. But once you got into the word, broke it down, like I'm I can't remember what exactly the message was at that moment, but it spoke to me, right? And I was like, yep, this is it. This is where I belong. And I remember picking up my kids from upstairs, and the first thing my kids asked, "Can we come back next week?"
Love it.
That's when I was like, I'm sold.
So
I've only missed twice. I was sick, and the other one was I was out of town visiting some family.
well,
So
I love it. You did what us men are supposed to do, and that's take leadership of our home,
mhm.
be the leader in faith of our home, and make sure that everyone understands that we need to be saved. We need Jesus in our life, and you've done it. And now it's on to plant the next seed to somebody else.
That's it.
Keep growing in your faith and never stop. So
No, I agree. Next, I know we had just some questions. What was your chosen to change moment? What was that moment you chose to change?
I think I've had a few moments in my life that I've been chosen to change, but none of them were based on God choosing me to change. And what I want to talk about and highlight is something that's a little hard for me to talk about. It's not because I'm not man enough or humble to talk about it, but it impacted my family a lot. So I'm going to get into it. I had some relationship issues caused by me. I wasn't very faithful in my relationship. I wasn't being faithful to my kids, and I wasn't being faithful to myself. In this moment, I was not only running a business, making money. We had the house. We felt like we were living a pretty comfortable life, but everything I was doing was of the world. People I was surrounding myself around were people that were letting me get away with whatever I wanted to do. And just like those times, they're good times and they're going. You're knee deep in the sin. No one's telling you what you're doing wrong. And then God always reveals the truth.
Mhm.
And I felt myself, I'll never forget. I'm at a friend's house. I spent the night. I'm in a small bed, uncomfortable, have money in my pocket, no wife, no kids, not sure of the future of my family, not sure of the future of my business, not sure how people are going to look at me, knowing that it was publicly made. The mistake that I made is publicly announced properly as it should. And I sat there and I said, man, I'm so lonely. Like, I worked so hard to get married, so hard to break this curse, so hard to have these children. And here I am just letting it all slip through my fingers. And that was my chosen moment. From that moment on, once I was able to understand the game plan, me and my family got back together. My wife is amazing, and she gave me the opportunity to continue our family. And I told her at this moment, I will never be the person that I was. I will always progress and lead our family. And that was my chosen moment. We started going to church, started getting involved in our church, really started reading the word and being faithful to the word. And in life, just treating people better, being around better influences, being around people that are spiritual influences, people that are really going to change me. I've had a lot of yes men in my life, and I don't want that anymore. So that was my chosen moment where I was able to basically become the comeback kid, right? It's a comeback story. We all love a comeback story. We just don't know all the details. And I'm okay talking about it because where I'm at today with my family is amazing. And I love them so much. And I love what we're doing. And I'm so proud to talk about it. So
I think the first step of change is acknowledgement.
mm-hmm.
You have to acknowledge it. You have to own it. And you know what I mean, I don't think. I mean, obviously, we never had a conversation about that because I knew the phone was bombarded. It was.
Yeah.
I was like, but nah, like you know what I mean. Like I also know it wasn't coming from a good place from a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it was just like the moment you acknowledge it, the moment I saw you I saw you change from the outside. Obviously, your wife, your kids saw it first. You know what I mean? Which I think that's more powerful than anything.
Yeah.
Because it starts at home.
No, my focus wasn't to win people over immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It was my wife.
Yeah.
It was my faith, my wife, and my kids.
Mm-hmm.
That was my goal. And whoever doesn't understand, doesn't forgive me, doesn't support me, I understand. For those of you who do, I thank you. I appreciate you. But I'm not here to impress anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to impress my wife. I'm here to make sure that I'm committed to this relationship with her, and I love her the way she should be loved. So for me, I never worried about how was I going to come back from it to the public,
Yeah.
only to my family and to God. How was I going to, ask for forgiveness for my sins. And how was I going to move forward in life to know that I'm never going to do that again in my life? It's easy to say sorry. It's another thing to take a lesson and actually apply it to your life and stick to it. All right, Josh, so you had me on the spotlight. It's your turn. So what was your chosen to change moment?
My chosen to change moment, I'll never forget it, and it's kind of really where No Love Lost started. I was my wife called me, the car broke down that day. For whatever reason, God always has a plan. Wife couldn't go pick up the kids. Call my mom. Hey, can you go pick up the kids? She picks up the kids. Long story short, her and my wife got into it. Mind you, we were married for 3 weeks at this time. Um, my wife calls me, hey, go get the kids. Your mom's kind of, calling me out of my name. And I remember driving, and at that moment, I was fighting as a 30 or a 28-year-old man and an 8-year-old little boy.
Wow.
Like, don't mess this up. Like, just go pick up the kids. Don't say nothing. Everything's going to be okay. We'll figure it out. But like that man inside of me, like I was just battling, and I was just like, no, 5 weeks ago, you just took an oath to your wife to be there for her through sickness, health. You know what I mean? Like you can't, you're laying down the foundation right now of your marriage, right? And I remember getting there and picking up the kids. The first thing my mom asked me was, just please let me see my kids, or let me see my grandkids. And I remember looking at her and I was like, what does that teach my kids, that it's okay to disrespect their mom? And it just kind of, popped off from there. And after that, I remember going home and I slept for 3 days. I didn't call work. I went straight AWOL. Didn't call work actually for like a week and a half. Finally, I called my manager and he was like, hey man, like, you're right. And I was like, yeah, no, you know what I mean? And he was like, well, what's going on? And I was calling you to let you know I'm gonna check myself out into a mental health place, because I'm just not right. Like, I'm not me no more. Like, I see it. I'm just snapping at everybody. And he called me. He was like, here, call this number. They're gonna set you up with the counselor. They'll set you up with getting paid. Sure enough, they set me up with 3 months getting paid. I saw a counselor. I remember looking at the lady's name, what I told my wife, I was like, I don't really want to go to counseling.
Yeah.
And she was like, Josh, you're already at rock bottom. Like, you haven't came out of the room in a week and a half. Like, you haven't talked to your mom. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, what else are you going to do? And at that moment, I was like, all right. I remember looking at the lady's name when it came in, and her name was Sanjeet Ram. And I said, oh, heck no. I was like, she's not even understand a lick of English I'm saying. Like,
Right.
I was being so judgmental, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just by off the name. I remember logging into the telehealth because it was during COVID. And it was a white lady popped up, and she was like, all right, Josh. She was like, you have severe depression, you have severe PTSD, you have severe anxiety. Like, the way you grew up was rough. She was like, what do you want out of life? And I don't think I've ever had someone on the outside ask me that. And I was like, well, she was like, do you want a check for the rest of your life? Because we could write up a statement. I get you a check every month. You know what I mean? You could probably get like $2,000. You could figure,
Yeah.
you could live life comfortably. And I was sitting there and I was like, hell no. You know what I mean? Like that's not the life I want. And at that moment, I said, no, like, I want more in life. I want a lot more in life. This is what I want. And I think that was my chosen to change moment. And she challenged me every week to do something different.
Nice.
The first week was, let's go outside, go put your feet in the ground, go get grounded with the earth. And I literally told her, I was like, about 3 years ago, I would have looked at you and be like, you're crazy, white lady.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go outside and go put my feet in the ground. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I did it. And that was the way it ran.
I think hearing your chosen moment and my own, the one thing that I want to bring up is, how would these moments have been if our faith was as strong as it is now? How would those moments been different if we had the faith we had now? So I'll kind of let you answer it, and then I'll give you my answer on as far as how I feel about it.
I definitely wouldn't have gotten that far with a week and a half in bed. And I also wouldn't have stressed out about it, because it's definitely like one thing I've learned: stop stressing. Just let it go. Everything's gonna
Yeah,
happen. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. You can't control over it because it's not my time. It's not my plan.
it's God.
It's all in God's
It's
plan.
God's plan. Yeah.
It's all in God's timing. He's gonna give you the story. He's gonna give you the challenges, and it's not gonna be anything like you pictured it. Nothing. And I think that's been the hardest thing because I've always tried to picture my life and dissect my life and move it.
Well, I think it's trying to control your life, right?
Sure.
Trying to be the captain of your own boat. Just like myself, thinking about that question, how I would answer it, how would I have dealt with the things I went through with my faith? Well, it's easy. I wouldn't have. That never would have occurred. My standard for God, for my relationship, for everything that I stand for would have never crossed the boundary that I crossed. So for me, it just tells me that I had a fake faith at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't practicing faith. I wasn't going to church. I relied on myself, me, the captain, the person that's always been who's had to figure it out on his own. And that's what I would have done. That's what I was doing. What I would do now is I wouldn't make those choices. I would do the right thing. I would honor God. I'd honor my wife. I'd honor my family.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these moments we think are given to us by God. God, why did you put this on me? Why are you facing me with this challenge? God didn't put that on me. I put that on myself. But what God did is God got me out of it.
100%. The devil's the one that put the temptation
Yeah.
in your face. He's the one that said, no, come here. Look,
Yeah.
look, it's better over here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that God still loved me enough to save me.
Come
to
back.
say, Rob, you can come back from this. You can get your wife back.
Mhm.
You can get your kids back. You can get your life back. Not money, not business, not anything else. Once I knew I could get my family back, I've been on a mission ever since then. Yeah.
Nah, I
You feel me?
yeah, I feel you, bro. I think like just, I don't know, man. Like it's just a comeback story, and I
Yeah.
feel like our lives have always had that comeback story.
Yeah.
In different phases, right? Like,
Definitely.
that's what it is. So I think let's get into our next segment, which is really like, obviously we both have a business.
Yeah.
I want to talk about yours. The first one GM,
Mm-hmm.
first gen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How does first gen correlate to the podcast? Where does it play a place? And yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. So 1GM, I created this acronym probably 7 years ago. And what I meant in it 7 years ago, before God was ruling in my life, was first generation millionaire.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily all about money, but there was more success behind the name. It was somebody who was going to break the generational financial curse and provide for his family, be the business owner, be the person who's been places his family hasn't. That was what I created 7 years ago. So if I pull up some old memories, and I've showed my guys, which is crazy because they thought 1GM came over the last year, but I've actually been kind of sitting on that name for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pivoted a lot. 1GM, first generation millionaire, one godly man, first gen. What it is, it stands for somebody who is going to break the curse, somebody who is willing to stop the infidelity down the heritage, stop the poverty down the bloodline, somebody who's willing to make family and faith okay to do and stand out alone. And if it means losing your family, your external family who they love you, they love hanging out with you, you're the funny guy, I'm okay with that. I'm a first gen guy. I'm here to put that first gen people, us first gen, me and my team, anybody who wears my hat, who wears my shirt, I want them to know you're not wearing a roofing or construction hat. You're saying I'm a first gen because I'm breaking whatever, fill in the blank. I'm breaking this curse in my life. I'm not going to repeat the cycle. I'm not going through divorce. I'm not going to whatever it is for you. So first gen means everything to me. It's not just a company. It's a brand that I live by. It's a mission statement that I wake up and I hold myself accountable to. I wear the hats every day. I have it tattooed on me because I want to remind myself every single day that I'm breaking curses, and I'm proud of it.
I mean, obviously my story, again, we have similar stories. So first gen means a lot to me, you know what I mean? Which I think ties back into this podcast. I felt like I was one that was chosen out of my family to show, hey, you can leave the toxic family. You can leave just all the trauma that was built behind out I'll absorb that so that way my kids don't have to. So that way my kid, it doesn't spew over to my
Yeah,
kids,
so it
right?
changes their lives.
And I mean, obviously, like my 16-year-old got it a lot, but I think those conversations I have with him,
Mm,
I'm also very authentic with my kids. I don't hide nothing from my kids. And I think he's seen my growth. And I think he's like, all right, my dad's not the same person who he used to be. You know what
right.
I mean? Like, and again, I tell my son all the time, one, there is no book, there's nothing on how to become a parent. On how you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's just like life. You learn as you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna do this different. I'm gonna do that different. So I mean, one GM, I definitely it you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it gets me. And yeah,
Yeah, I know and that book that you reference, if you're going to reference any, there is a Bible. There's a Bible
that's true.
that will lead them and our kids how to do all these
That
things.
is true.
We just didn't read it to raise our lives. We didn't use that as our tool in order to get us here. So what we're doing is we're making sure that our kids underneath, we're breaking that curse. And when we talk about change, the one thing I want to bring up is, why are people so afraid to change? Why are people afraid to stop the substance abuse, stop the alcoholism, stop the drugs, stop the abuse, stop the infidelity? I get that everything is hard. Life is hard, but anybody can change, and it can happen in one day. Doesn't mean they can totally flip it around, but it takes one day at a time, one day at a time
Wonders.
in order to change. So I really want to motivate people and inspire them and let them know you can change. There was a day I was called a cheater, a sinner, a liar, a thief. And then there's another day where I'm called everything opposite, because I put in the time, I've given my faith, I've put all my trust in God,
Mhm.
and I don't let any word define me. I let God define me.
So I agree, and I think I mean just to kind of off of why don't people change? Because it's not comfortable. I mean because it's comfortable, right?
Yeah.
That's what they've seen their whole life. They've seen substance abuse. They've seen infidelity. They've seen arguing. They've seen the way that what I mean, the way that they were talked to as kids. That's all they know. It takes that first generation person to be like, nope, it stops with me.
For sure.
I'm stopping this, and you know what I mean, like, and I don't think it's something you inherit, or it's not something you inherit. I really believe it's just something you were built with in your soul,
Mm.
that where it's just like, I'm going to give you all these obstacles, and you're just that person that's like, nope.
Do you think in every family, God chooses certain people to be the generational curse breaker?
100%.
Yeah.
And I fully agree. I mean, I fully think that that's you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Just as I get into as I was getting into my own mental health, finding out stuff from my parent, you know what I mean? Like my mom went through this because of her mom went through that because of, you know what I mean? Like, it's all just passed down trauma. And it's just like, well, that happened to me. So, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know. I've always just stood on 2 feet and been like, nope, 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 not happening.
Yeah.
And I just became that person finally, where it became those decisions for my kids. Again, I had that chosen to change moment where I was like, it stops now. Like, you know what I mean?
The trauma train stops here, right?
That's it. It stops here.
Yeah.
It stops here.
I love it. I love it. That's perfect.
All right. So the next thing we're going to get into, speaking of substance, it's actually a card game. A friend of mine showed me this back when I was trying to build the brand No Love Lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to tie these back to No Love Lost and just the struggles and kind of explain the brand, but I had never used them for whatever reason. God gave me this now.
Okay.
And we're gonna pull a card.
So here we go.
And this is not scripted. You know what I mean? We're gonna ask
the
card.
I'm ready for it.
Hold on.
So this will be for me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This will be for you.
Let's make sure we get some good answers. I won't peek.
First
Anyone you want.
First one is, I like this one. What's your true definition of happiness?
Man. Okay. Happiness to me. You know what it looks like? It looks like going to bed at night with your wife, your kids in your house, knowing that you have a household who loves you, knowing that you have people in your life that look forward to your calls, your messages, knowing that you have a purpose in life, no matter what it is industry wise you choose, what craft you do, what business you are, that you're waking up with intention and you're out in this world serving other people. To me, happiness is discipleship. To be able to help other people, whether it's get them in the gym, get them to church, help them out through a struggle they're going to. I feel so full and happy when I'm doing all these things.
Mm.
I'm at work. My wife loves me. She can't wait till I'm home. My kids want to play games when I get home. My friends are not only helping me get better, they're looking up to me, but I'm also looking up to them. It's a happy life. And I can honestly say that I'm fulfilled with happiness in my life right now. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, and I think I mean, man, there's nothing like going home, and people like, oh, I dread going home, and I'm like I don't, because the moment I walk through that door to hear dad, you know what I mean, like, man, like, to have them kids run up to me. My
Yeah.
wife's usually probably cooking, or I'm doing something, just to give her that hug and to be like, because it's that just, I miss you and I love you, and you know what I mean, like,
And it don't matter what type of home, if it's a big home, small home, the happiness isn't the four walls, it's what's in between.
I've I've sat in the big home,
Right.
and I've never been more miserable because
Yeah.
I wasn't good inside.
You weren't true to you weren't
Yeah.
being right to yourself, or true to yourself. I can relate to that. So
Exactly.
you have another one for me?
Yeah, it's
All right, give me another one. That was an easy one. I need a hard one.
all right. What was the most hurtful thing someone told you?
Okay. Um, there are these moments in your life that you never forget when people talk to you. And I was 19 years old. My father passed away. He was 42. And it was, at the time, it was the hardest thing I'd ever gone through, because I didn't expect him to pass away so young. I didn't expect to not have a father. And I was just kind of going through grief. But at the same time, I was helping organize the funeral services. I did the eulogy, which at 19, I couldn't imagine how that sounded, because I probably cried most of the time. But hearing a lot of the stories from my dad's friends, a lot of party stories, a lot of he's a good guy stories. My dad was very charismatic, very loving, very funny. He was a great person, great father to me. But I had a family member come up to me after the funeral, and she said, Hito, I'm so sorry about your dad, but I hope you don't end up like him. And I don't think she meant anything bad in there. I think there was an encouraging message behind it, but at 19 years old, I took it as almost like it was going to be me next, or I was never going to live up to the name or the age. And believe it or not, I'm 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that statement probably once or twice a week, especially when I'm feeling a little down and out, maybe in sales, or maybe I just feel a little negative Nancy that day. But I'll pull that quote out of my brain, and it's go time. And even on my hand, it says relentless, because I'm relentless.
And it's backwards. Look at it.
Oh, I need to look at it. So that was my, like, okay, watch this.
Oh man, that question so far, I'm gonna piggyback on that one. My most hurtful someone ever told me was the last time I spoke with my mom. That conversation, I got to tell her I loved her, I forgive her. You know what I mean? I got to be very positive. And conversation went south. The last thing my mom ever told me was, "You'll never amount to shit. You'll never be shit." I don't mean to cuss, but those were her words. And I remember looking at her, and I was like, bet. Like, I'm going to show you, I'm going to be, like, you know what I mean? Like, that, I just added fuel to my fire to be a better person, to be there for my kids, to be a better husband. You know what I mean? And I use that a lot. And it's, I don't know, I mean, as a kid, I always like to prove people wrong. That's just been me. And I mean, that's kind of something I'm working on, rather than, pulling some fire out of stuff like that. 'Cause that kind of stuff gets me going.
Yeah.
But that was the most painful thing I ever heard, especially, I mean, the only thing I ever wanted to come from my mom was just something nurturing, loving. Hey, I love you. I'm proud of you. I care for you, like, and I, to this day, 33 years old, I've never heard that. Well, from her anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've also learned that I I'm at a point where I don't need that from her anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you moved on from waiting for the apology.
I moved on from that
Well, I mean, hurt people hurt people. They
100%.
want to say something to other people because they're also hurting inside.
Mhm.
So it's important for us to not hate them for what they said,
Mm,
but also be humble and understand that they were going through something and that's why they said that to us. And it's not, you're right, it's not pulling this out of it, pulling the wild card out to get you fired up. But the moment someone asks, what did someone say that triggered you? You can always pull that quote up in your head because
mhm.
it's something that embedded in you because it hurt you so bad that you almost had to store it in your memory. Not for hurt times, but maybe to pray for them, maybe to understand, like for your mom, she's your mom. I don't know exactly the situation, but I'm assuming she took care of you.
Mm,
Okay, well, a little bit different. Most moms, when men get married, they have a hard time understanding that now the son is the wife's. It's
yeah,
no longer the mom's.
yeah,
You can't have the same relationship you had before. That you have a new family, and I think a lot of moms out there struggle with that part
for
because
sure.
they don't get this their son or their daughter, however it
Well,
is,
that
the way it used to be. Right?
that's supposed to be. I mean,
Yeah.
they're first. They say the first son is always the mother's second love, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I unfortunately, I mean, fortunately, because I turned out the way I did, is no, my mom was substance since I was a kid,
Got it.
in and out of my life, always a bunch of empty promises. So I mean, I guess it was nothing new, but I don't know, just hearing that,
Mhm.
and I think it was I started going to counseling. I already had that chosen to change moment where
Yeah.
I was like, nope, like stops here. I want more in life. I'm gonna be more in life.
Yeah.
That just really added fuel to the fire, like, and now, actually, now that I've been going to church, and we've been talking about praying for other people, we've been talking about maybe reaching out to other
Mhm.
people. I actually reached out to her, wrote her a letter, because obviously that's the only way I could really get my point across.
Mhm.
So that's how it's kind of changed, right? Like, hey, I've gone to counseling, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this is how I've learned to love myself, and this is how I've changed my life. You can do it too. I'm
Yeah.
kind of modeling it for you,
For sure.
but it's also your choice.
She's got
And you
it.
also got to take accountability. So, yeah, that was mine.
I love it.
That was mine.
Go. What? One more?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. You could pull one.
You want me to pull one?
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
pull one.
You put the other ones back.
Yeah, I already put them.
Okay. Let me see here. I'm probably gonna pick something crazy. Let's see. Okay. What kind of cards these are here? But do you believe in true love?
No, we're not doing that one.
We're good on that one.
Yeah,
You want to talk about your love story? Give me another one. Oh, good. Money. Let's go with. Let's get a good one here. How can? Boom. Okay, got it. All right. So the next card we're gonna pull is what is something someone has said that will stay with you forever. Could be a couple short sentences or a couple people, but what is it?
Something that someone said to me that will stay with me forever. Um, it may not be said to me,
Mhm.
but to my daughter, one of my daughters, um, we went to her class prior, her parent teacher conference, and she said your daughter draws hearts on everything, and she names everything No Love Lost Land, and she said, do you know why? And I said, well, yeah, because that's my brand.
Yeah.
And I guess my daughter, just the way that they've embraced my story, but behind their story, like, um I guess it's not really something that's been said, but it's something that's
Yeah.
that captured right in front of me.
Yeah.
Just to know the impact that the way I've changed my life has impacted my kids' life, and how much they bought into, I guess, my change.
Mhm.
They seen my change, they live the change, they live the brand. I think to me that speaks more than words.
Mm.
And just to, I would say the only other one, my wife probably telling me, I've seen your growth. I know how hard you're working. I know you're going the right place. And that's probably the first woman figure that's ever told me that is,
Awesome.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I see where you're going. I see the vision. Just keep going. And I'm here no matter what.
Yeah.
So those definitely, just my wife and kids. It's
I think for me, the way I read that is it's motivational, things that have stuck with me
mhm,
that I've kind of anchored by. And one of them, a gentleman told me, only look up to people that live the life that you want. And what that told me wasn't material things, it wasn't the possessions of things, but I had to model and say, okay, well, who out here, who out there is living a life that I would want and that I would actually want. Would I want $20 million and travel here? Well, that life's probably not for me,
sure,
right?
but
Like it would be
yeah,
like it'd be nice to have that much money, but that life isn't ideal for me. And looking at hearing that quote, analyzing people, whether it's social media or here in town, I want to take bits and pieces and say, man, I really like that about that guy. I love the way he prays with his family. I love the way this guy is very involved with his wife. I love how he is a spiritual influence to other men. There's a lot of things that I've taken and I've just taken little bites and little pieces and I've put them in my life. And I said, cool, I'm only going to look up to you if you have the life that I want. And very fortunate. There's a lot of men and yeah, a lot of men and people that I can say that to this day that I'll recognize and I'll tell them, hey, you're a spiritual leader for me. My wife is definitely one of them. If it wasn't for her, I never would have been in church. She led me there. Now I'm leading us.
mhm,
So it's those that to me is how I take
sure.
it. Those are like kind of like my positive way to something that stuck with me. I don't think too many negative thoughts, but when someone brings up like situations, those change moments, I feel like they just go that route naturally, you know?
For sure. No, I mean, I definitely see that way as well. Um, so I mean, I guess this is, I mean, these stories and why we're here. That's really why, we didn't get really, I mean, I kind of got into a little bit of the stories of, you know what I mean, like the faces, you know what I mean? This was just kind of more of a recap on who we are, where we've been, um, a little bit on where we're at now
Yep.
compared to where people know. Because I mean, I know your stories has not been told. I have not told my story in probably 5 years.
Yeah, no, mine was basically um for social media and everyone to see what I did wrong,
Mhm.
but I've never put it out there for the way we've bounced back and the way our family has grown now. I'm sure people see pictures of traveling and what looks like a happy family, but social media can be a lie a lot of the times.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter to me, but this is a chance for me to not defend what people think about me, but for me to be proud of what myself, my wife, my kids, what we've done to completely 360 everything and just thrive in life and thrive because of God. So it's not really to tell a story of what the excuse was,
Mhm.
but that there's a way to get out of it. That there's a way to pivot and turn that life around to never be identified as what you did, but to be able to identify who you're becoming and what your goal to become is. That's my purpose for not only for this, but for there's a lot of individuals that reach out to me. They want mentorship, they want to conversate. A lot of them go to church with me, and I always don't have tons of time to have these kind of one-on-one moments. So if I can put something out there to encourage them during the week, during the hard times, and just always remind them that it's God that they need. It's not the next job, the next estimate, the
Mhm.
next dollar. I want to make sure that this message correlates to everybody. Go ahead, go deep in your faith. What's going to happen? I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I do. God. Do I know physically how it's going to happen for you?
No.
That I don't know. I didn't know my life would be how it is today. When everything was going bad for me, and you would have said, Rob, it's going to be okay. It's going to be in 2 years. It's going to be completely different.
You're gonna be like, no.
I wouldn't have believed you because this was extremely hard to pivot and change myself. And the day I got married, to say that I'd be going, 12 years ago, that I would go through everything I've gone through in 12 years, I didn't know that.
I think the difference to what you chased 2 years ago, or from
Yeah,
that moment to 2 years ago, you chased faith
yeah.
instead of chasing money,
I'm
instead of
chasing faith.
chasing vision, instead of chasing the image, right? This, this, like you chase faith. You chase to give it to the Lord, give it all. Here, you figure it out.
I just want to be used. I
Mhm.
know that God blessed me with certain spiritual gifts, and I want those to be used for the greater purpose. Even most recently, I posted a video about a Rolex I had purchased, and even though I thought about it multiple times whether it should be posted or not, I didn't want anyone to think it was posted because of the materialism behind it. It wasn't about the watch. It wasn't about the time it tells. It tells the same time as my Apple Watch.
Look at
But,
me.
but what it does do, it shows the time that I put in,
Hmm.
not only to work, not only to my relationship, not only to everything I've gone through. I got about 19 years of just hard work and dedication to everything in my life. And that's what it signifies. And it's not really for me. It's for my kids, to show them that it's possible, to show people that if that's really your goal as a Rolex, that you can achieve that and in a faithful, honest, loyal way. And I'm proud. I'm proud that I posted it. Not sure all the reactions behind the likes, but it don't bother me. My wife loves me, my kids love me, my friends support me, and they were very happy for me. So that's, my blinders are kind of on, and I'm just looking at the good things in life, and I'm trying to be a disciple to those who are lost. If there's anyone out there looking for a way out, looking for a way to kind of break through that wall, break that chain, first and foremost, you need to give yourself to the Lord. You need to be humble enough to understand that you need real change in your life. You need to do something not like you've done before, but you really need to commit and change your life. And when you do that, I believe God does his work like he always does.
I think with that, it's you also have to let people know it's hard. It's not easy.
No,
It's not. And I think that's the perception everyone has. Oh, it's going to be easy. No, it's not. It gets harder whenever you have God on your side. But that's because he knows.
Yeah.
He knows what he can give you. He knows what he can't give you.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a great podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Bouncing back and forth, just the ideas, everything. Talking about the stories, the growth, the pain, everything. I'm pretty excited. Just to do this once a week, have you here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this has been on my heart for a long time to tell a story. And I think for years in the past, I always wanted to be on, I was on a couple podcasts and I've done a couple, but I've never been really honest with everything that I should have done. And I feel like now is a time to help people, to reach out to others, tell them my hardship, your hardship, things that we can maybe help them with,
Mhm.
and start a movement. I just want to make sure that everyone finds God. And if it's one person or 1,000, it means the world to me. So this is, I'm excited about it. I look forward to making the next episode as we progress on, learn more about each other's lives and things that we can acknowledge and motivate other people and share more of the word. So this is our first episode, but there's a lot more to come, and I'm excited about it. Thank God.
Well, I think that concludes episode 1.
Mhm.
We talked about the intro, talked about ourselves, talked about confronting the pain, talked about confronting the issues, taking accountability, which is the big one. And I mean, really just building the legacy behind our kids, for our kids. Do you have anything else to?
No, I think that sums it up. This podcast is not a business or a get rich podcast. It is a Find God. It is a Turning Point podcast. It's a Breaking Chains podcast. It's a 1GM, being a generational curse breaker podcast. It's a No Love Lost podcast, and I'm really excited about it.
I am too. We are chosen to change. So are you. Stay grinding, stay pushing, stay faithful. We'll see you next time.
God bless.
God bless.